You get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Happy Monday. So what a day today. Huge gap up today in the market, and then this this kind of grindy-ish fade, but what a fade today. It ended up really flushing at the end of the day. So cool stuff there. So today we're going to be, this week, hopefully everybody enjoyed the Elliott Wave show yesterday. Today I still get a lot of questions about Fibonacci's, and I am going to do a 3-minute video on time extensions. This week we are going to spend a little bit of time on time extensions as well. But I kind of want to just go through the basics of everything. I still get some questions on it. So today we're going to be going... this week we're going to be talking about day trading Fib magic, and today we're going to be talking about retraces. So good stuff there. Before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see how they're behaving this evening or misbehaving, and then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX, whew, up 41 points today, but unless you were holding overnight on that one, it didn't really feel like it, right? It was kind of a big down day in terms of the reversal, right? Monthly chart, again, got a little extended there of the upper Bollinger Band here on the monthly. It rarely stays there, and ended up pulling back here to the upper BB. Weekly chart turning into a shooting star candle. Fresh all-time highs, though. So what that does is it's fresh highs, fresh trend lines. Right, so good stuff here. So we have the from the Corona crash lows, fresh highs right here. So we have a fresh trend line here. So we are bullish until proven otherwise. Of course, we are expecting to be proven otherwise for a little bit based on the Elliott Wave, right? So here's kind of an example already of what we're going to be talking about today on the retraces, right? So and we'll talk a little bit more about Elliott Wave this week as well. We were expecting a wave one move, right? Because this was clearly an impulsive move up, right? The real question that we were dealing with is, was this a triangle, right? Or was it are we just going to continue to be impulsive and continue to work its way up? And eventually it's going to pull back, right? So it did today. It actually pulled back to the 236. There's a possible area of support right here. Our favorite levels are the 382 and the 618. So again, to get to the 382, we could possibly see a gap fill right here. And then we'll see how we hold these levels here as potential support. And then we might start to work our way back up. So we definitely want to track that. If we work our way farther down, right, we've got the 618 right here. You can see I've drawn a golden zone on this one. That would get us to about the 50-day moving average, the daily cloud. It would kind of bring us back to that prior resistance level that could serve as support. So we definitely want to see how the price action behaves around here if we get there. Below that, we've got the new fresh trend line, so we'll see how that holds. And again, that would take us about to the 786, which is kind of a line in the sand, and then we'll see how it holds the trend line if we get to that point, and then we'll go from there. So good stuff. So that's the SPX. Let's take a look at the price action here intraday. So we gapped up pretty large here today. So a big move up. Again, a huge move on the futures this morning. On the Pfizer news coming out with a 90% effective COVID vaccine test, and so 90% effective COVID vaccine trial, and so we'll see how that goes. So we'll see what goes in there. So we did get a nice push this morning and a big kind of a gap and go on that first 15-minute candle, and then all these upper shadows starting coming right here. It's like this is tough, right? Because this is brand new territory, right? So we call this price discovery. Because price hasn't been here before. It's trying to discover new levels, right? It's trying to test areas. And so one of the big things with this, right, is the levels that it tests. When we look at the S&P futures, we'll take a look at it and see what levels it did test and kind of hung out around today. So a little bit of move down here to the ADMA, right? Kind of chopped around a little triangle, gave a little breakout right there, and then it finally decided to reverse. So cool stuff there. Here's the levels that we provide in members before each market opens. You can see how valuable these are. 1 second. Today was the 9th. Okay, good stuff. So again, you can see here on the intraday basis, right? We worked our way up, 415 warp high. Again, held a weekly level right here pretty nicely, right? And then before bouncing off it, tried to hold it again, and then once it broke down there, kind of like this head and shoulders type pattern, and then we broke down below the prior all-time highs, right? So that was definitely a key level to be tested. Filled a closing gap below here, and then they just basically just flushed it off into the close. So very, very interesting stuff there. Let's take a look at the futures and see what they're up to or down to here this evening. So we're down about 7 points. Okay, so this is kind of a cool thing, right, that we're looking at right here. So again, we gapped up. We had this huge, this is pre-market here on the futures, right? So this is when the Pfizer news came out. We just launched. It was like, okay, see you bears, right? Just squeeze them all out. And here's the prior all-time highs right here. So you can see that was a very, very key level here on the S&P futures today. And again, same thing, head and shoulders type pattern right here before the breakdown into the close. One of the things that we pointed out in the group today was this down move, right? So we kind of started off the day with the gap. We didn't see the same type of gap and go-ish formation that you saw in the SPX there. We ended up, really pushing down pretty sharply here into the opening, right, into the open. Gave a little bit of a rally and then kind of pushed back down again to retest those all-time highs. They didn't quite tag the prior all-time highs, but they got close to it, right? So that kind of leaves you guessing, like, wait a second, this thing's probably going to at least get tested, right? And then of course we got the scene of the breakout right here, which they ended up getting to at the end of the day. So we had this impulsive move down. We had this 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then we got this wave 5. And I pointed out to the group, this is looking like it's starting to give an ABC retrace, right? So we got this ABC right here, right to the 15-hour blow. And then the whole idea is if you can't catch this, it's okay, right? Because chances are, if we see an impulsive move down, we'll be able to catch a retrace off of that. Right, and that gave us a nice little move right here. So here's your wave 1 down. Here's your ABC right here, wave 2 right to the 382. Right, so this we'll talk about retraces in a little bit, but that's a beautiful retrace right there. Nice upper shadow off of it right here to really take this thing down, take out the inverse head and shoulders, and then boom, sliced through some of our signal zone and got right to the scene of the breakdown right here before finishing up the day. Into the evening, we still look at futures, of course, and you can see here what's going on. We have this ABC move right here. So I told the group, I said, if you're trading futures tonight, keep an eye on this one. It looks like this ABC, and we might see another impulsive wave down, and we did. I even pointed out an entry to the group right here for a nice trade down, right, and a little bit of a retrace right here, and then another move down here. So again, my idea was that we'd at least test down about 10 points here this evening, maybe 20. So we'll see where we go to do. You can see I already drew the wave 5 potential in here, which is what I tweeted out, or I discorded out to the members here tonight, and we'll see where we go from here. So pretty interesting stuff. So let me remove this retrace right here. Let me put a fresh geometric line on this and see where we end up going into tomorrow morning. So we'll see if they have a sort of pretty wild day today overall. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at this here. And then we've got this this kind of downward trending type move right here. So coming back and retesting this bump line right here on the downside. So we'll see how that holds. It might push down, finish up a wave 5, and see where we go from there. So good stuff. Awesome stuff. All right, good. So hopefully everything's going through okay. So good. So today we're going to be continuing our conversation here on, or we're starting our conversation here on this week on day trading FIB magic with retraces. So we call it FIB magic. This is a funny name, but really Fibonacci's are interesting, right? So it does sometimes seem like magic how they work out. A lot of times it's a self-fulfilling prophecy when they work out because a lot of people look at it, algos look at it, but at the same time, right? If you look at the market as an organism, like a living organism with millions of minds and millions of computers developed by minds with their own, even artificial minds, right? So you've got kind of this organism out there, and we've found that Fibonacci's play out in nature, right? In organisms, right? We look at Fibonacci shell sequences, things like that, and just as the market is one big organism too, right? Fibonacci's tend to play out here as well. So that's kind of the magic of the whole thing. So today we're going to be talking about retraces, and really what I just kind of want to hammer home on retraces is the movement, right, of the of when we draw them, right? So all we do is in Thinkorswim, all we have to do is grab the retracement tool. It's just this little percentage tool right here, and what we want to do is the reason that we start from where we want to find the retrace from, and we end. So here, if I want to find a retrace on this one, let's say I go all the way down to here, right, from the highs to the lows right now. These percentages are a lot of them Fibonacci numbers, right? The 618 being a golden ratio, right, and the 382 being a a transposition of that one. And so what we look for is why do we draw here? Why does it start at 100% end at 0%? It kind of seems like you'd start at 0 because these are retraces, right? These are percentage retraces. So in other words, if we retraced 100% of the entire range up, guess what? We have a 100% retrace, right? If it doesn't retrace at all, it's a 0% retrace. If we retrace half the way up, it's 50%. If we go over halfway up, right, we get 51, 52, 53, 60% retrace. So that gives us our 60% retrace here. That's why we start from the highs and go to the lows, or if we want to go from the lows to the highs, right, that's why it starts at 100 because we're looking for the retrace. So that is, I just kind of wanted to hammer that home a little bit there. I mean, it's however you guys like to do it is fine, but it is very kind of an interesting tool, right? So good stuff right here. Again, this little retrace right here was about a 382 before we started to work our way down off of that drop. So how else can we apply this? Well, we apply it all the time intraday, right? So it gives us a lot of good tools on the intraday, and we really like to see on these bounces. Like I said, we'll talk more about Elliott wave and everything this week, but with the Elliott waves, right, we look for these retraces because we know after an impulsive move we're going to get a corrective pattern. And you can see this wave 4 was a nice wave 4 triangle. Right, so from the highs to the lows on this down move right here, we go from the highs, right, we start at 100, right, we go down here to this, and look at that, a nice perfect 382 retrace through this triangle, and then we broke down. So, even if you see this, and it's so easy to get FOMO when we're trading, so FOMO being fear of missing out, right, so it's so easy to get that the you kind of just have to be calm. I always get excited if I see a big move like this. I'm pretty excited about it because I know I can wait for the retrace to happen, right? I can wait for the trade to come to me. And you can see right here, even off of this 382 retrace, right? We had this 5-minute candle right here. We had a nice little top tick off of this, off of the prior resistance level right here. Even if you just take that 382 retrace, very, very low risk reward. And folks, that's a 20-point move on the S&P futures. That's huge. That's a huge move. That, I mean, back in the day, back in 2015, 2016, I mean, to get a 20-point move, you got to wait like 2 days. And we get that in like 1 day, right? I mean, with like one candle. It really is amazing stuff, right? So, so let the trades come to you. So you see a nice impulsive move, you get excited, especially if it's the beginning of an impulsive move. Right, so that's really, really exciting stuff. Other ways we can apply this, of course, is going back to the macro charts. Right, so just an example right here. Just take a look at Apple, and these give us nice levels to use. Right, so if we look at Apple on the daily, right, one of the things we can do is kind of go. Well, Apple's a huge example right here, but one of the things we can do, just for example, from this big down move on Apple, this is back in 2018. If you guys remember that was a fun time. We just do a retrace on the daily chart, right? And just kind of use it to kind of track different key levels that are happening out here, right? So so this case right here, Apple worked its way through the 618. It gave a nice drop here off of the 618 from 49 to 46, and then it worked its way all the way back up to the 786 before working its way down to the 382. And you can see how these levels can really play out over time. Anyway, good stuff. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. Let me get this loaded up right here. So daily charts. All right, fantastic. All right, everything's coming through okay. Good stuff. All right, fantastic. All right, so Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's take a look at these. Again, everybody, thanks for keeping Shirley in your thoughts and prayers. She gets better all the time. Let's take a look at Zoom. Okay, so Zoom, wow, what a down move on this one. So this was starting to look like an ABC retrace zigzag, right? Or an ABC, a corrective pattern, ABC down, right? Bounced off the 50-day moving average, and it looked like it was ready to kind of start to move up. We were looking for another retrace off of this, but wow, this one really got slammed this morning, right? So with the reason is that the based on the vaccine news, right? A lot of these stay-at-home names got hit. It's like, okay, well, you got a cure like Pfizer coming out with it with a 90% effectiveness rate. You're looking at like essentially a cure for corona, right? And so all these stay-at-home names that are affected for corona got hit today. Now, is Zoom probably eventually going to give a rally off of this? Yeah, eventually. So we'll see how it goes. There's a big gap down here, so we'll see how it holds. Again, so this ABC is turning out to be what looks like a larger corrective pattern. So it looks like almost like a 1-2-1-2, which means it could be pretty impulsive to the downside. So this gap is definitely in is definitely going to be a target here, a potential area of interest for us if this thing wants to keep going. Right? If we break down out of the cloud right here, there's a good chance that gap gets tested. So good stuff there on Zoom. Let's take a look at TDOC. So TDOC's another name. Big one right here. Again, this is a tough one to trade. Like lots of kind of choppy, upper shadow type moves and all that. Gave it an initial a sharp move down right here. So this is actually starting to look more like a zigzag formation, right? So here's your impulsive move down, kind of like an ABC-ish up, and another impulsive move down. If we take a look at this one on TDOC, right, we can do a symmetrical move right here. We actually looked at this at the short side. Remember this? So we did the retrace off of this, right off of the cloud right here, inside day between the 382 and the 50, right? And it ended up working its way down. So this is one, definitely one that was on the bearish radar, right? So if we just kind of activate this for a symmetrical move down, TDOC looks like it worked its way down to that 165 area if it wants to get more follow through on that one. So very, very interesting on that. So look for, again, a retrace there. See how it's under the 200-day moving average. See how it handles a retest of that. If it fails here, maybe it was a little inside day or something like that, we could see 165. So let's keep an eye on that one. Redfin. This is kind of interesting, right? So this is a Redfin, right? This is like a kind of a real estate-ish type name, that type of thing. So anyway, interesting move on this one. So again, impulsive move down. Again, gave about a 50% retrace off of this, off the 50-day moving average. This one wasn't hiding anything at all, right? I mean, after earnings, it was red, and so just got that downside follow-through off of that. So nice volume on that for the downside follow-through on Redfin. Frog. Remember Froggy, IPO? We talked about this bear flag right here. Woo! Still working its way down below the IPO lows. Now it's right at that 60 level, so it needs to hold that if it wants to try to rally off of it. So just be careful with that just in case. OSTK. Overstock. Still continuing to work its way down, right? So we had this massive bear flag right here, worked its way down. Mini bear flag, earnings, of course. Don't want to trade through that, but a nice reversal off of that. Another bear flag right off of here. Again, here's your retrace off of this one. 50% retrace, inside day down today on overstock.com. So good find on those. Thanks, Shirley. I appreciate it. Umesh, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. What do we got? So we got Shop on the radar. Shop with the drop. Whew. So this crazy ride up right here, ABC down, right? This looks like the start of a 1-2. We might be seeing a bigger impulsive move down on this one. I know I got a lot of Fibonacci's on here. So basically what we're looking at right here is potential initial move down, wave 2, and we could be working on a larger wave 3 that might try to get its way down to the 200-day moving average. There's some open gaps right here and right here. So definitely something to keep an eye on there on Shop. Tesla, let's do it. Tesla. So Tesla again, guys, inside day up this morning, gave a quick push here, but could not get out of the triangle. Okay, that's a big area of resistance, right? So we want to see this close bullishly above that with some increased volume to see if it's going to break out of the triangle. Right now, just kind of pulled back into the range and left an outside day today. So we'll see if that gets any follow through. Might come back, test the cloud, but it seems like it's still in the choppy area in the middle of the triangle. PLTR, let's take a look. So PLTR, nice follow through off of this candle right here. Again, earnings coming up on this one, so let's see how that goes on that. Twilio, very interesting on this one, right? So this is Twilio looking like it's kind of sort of breaking down a little bit right here. Again, just kind of keep an eye on it. We're right at the 618 right here from this retrace on up. Right? This could be an ABC type move as well. I was saying an ABC right here, but we could see a move up here. So just kind of see how it holds right here. It's right at the 50-day. If it wants to try to rally off of that, let's see if we can get over the 8-day and get going again. And then Square. Square looking a little bit iffy, right? So it closed with some great volume the other day after earnings, right? Upgrades and all that stuff. Closed over these pivot levels right here and then pulled back pretty sharply. Big gap right here and a gap right here and a gap right here. So keep an eye on those if the market wants to be bearish. PayPal, another payment processor. Again, nasty pullback again on this one, right? So we had this, we've broken down below this corrective channel, right? We had earnings on this, kind of worked its way back up a little bit, and that looks like it's working like on a possible fresh impulsive move down. So another one to keep an eye on too. And of course, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, hanging in there. So Bitcoin's been following this channel up for quite a bit here. We got up to the top of the channel with the doji, worked its way down from 15.6 to 14.8, right? So a nice 2,000 point down move off of that one. Inside day so far on the futures, right? So something to keep an eye on there. What else? Good stuff. Thanks, Umesh. I appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Oh, I know, quite a day today. Yeah, rotation may be starting. Yeah, so a lot of the pot sector names got the drop today, right? So a couple other names too. There was not a lot of bullish names on the radar, except the banks and oil. There you go. Banks at oil today. So pretty interesting stuff there. Yeah, so Boeing. Very interesting stuff right here. It's, again, out of the triangle right here. It found resistance at the 200-day moving average. I'd like to see it get above this with a bullish candle. I didn't like the doji today. There wasn't a strong candle prior to be like, hey, this could be like a doji sandwich or a pause day. Now, it is up a little bit after hours on some positive FAA news. So this one might be getting ready to go again. But again, it did well too. Again, the airlines did well initially today as well with the vaccine news, right? So we got that going on there too. So CCL. Again, this was a little bit better. I like how this closed nicely over the 200-day moving average. So let's see if that can get going. Again, a couple of these names have just been beat up for so long. We'll see if they can kind of work their way up. Facebook, again, just kind of back in the channel again, right? And then a big pullback here to the bottom of the channel. So let's see if that holds on Facebook. If not, big gap below right here, right? We got the 50-day moving average and a really thin cloud below on Facebook. So definitely want to keep an eye on. Good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Mike, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Michael, what's going on? Did anyone have trouble with Thinkorswim? You bet. Yeah, it was, again, almost every broker today had some issues. There was only a few out there that were okay. TradeStation was up fine today, but yeah, Thinkorswim, we go live at the open, and a lot of our members use Thinkorswim, and we use it for charting, and really, it's a very, really helpful tool. But yeah, TD Ameritrade was down. They even announced today, it was even on the Squawk, that they, TD Ameritrade said that members may be experiencing some issues. It's like no doubt. But yeah, Michael, if they cost you money in that GE swing, make sure you call them and talk to them. Right, so make sure you get them on the horn, and if it's their fault, they will take care of you. So for the most part. So, but definitely at least call and complain and ask and let them know if you haven't done that already. So they should. They have a lot of our members have done that. One of our members had some issues with Schwab today. Called him. It takes some time sometimes to fix. Some fix it right away, but a lot of them have been just make sure you just keep calling them. Definitely send them a message so you can record it. Right, at least you have a recording of it. Send them a so you can at least timestamp it and let them know. So good stuff there. Mike, yeah, it was definitely still in the morning, absolutely. So, COP and oil. So I had this on the bearish radar yesterday. I was like, yeah, keep an eye on it. It looks like it could be breaking down. And then it gapped up here this morning again. Oil, the idea is, the concept here with oil is that, if Corona's going away, more people are going to be driving again, going out shopping and all that stuff. And so more trucks delivering things and more oil being used, right? So we've got that kind of concept right there. Nice gap up there. Again, oil generally pretty strong today. Upper shadow here off the cloud and the top of the channel. So a little bit of caution off of that. Good stuff. Jay, what's going on? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. IBM, let's take a look. Yep, so IBM, pretty interesting stuff. Big inside day up here. Gave a nice gap up and just couldn't get over the 50-day, so kind of a retrace off of that. See if it comes back into that inside day range. GXC. So GXC, again, big gap up on that one. Then that came back in the inside day range there with the some of the China names there. So HPE. Hewlett-Packard, yeah, nice gap up there today, kind of hanging out there above the cloud. Left you with an upper shadow here at kind of this selling pressure area, so see how that holds. And then ZBRA, I haven't seen this one in a while. I think since the last time you asked about it. But yeah, look at Zebra working its way up right here. Woo! Big move on that one, right? Fresh trend, right? It's kind of working its way up nicely. Big bump line right here. Again, going parabolic. Look at that. Almost look like JKS or something like that. So huge move on that. Great find. Love the FIB. Yeah, FIB's fantastic. It really does. It really helps give a lot of clarity and give some great levels to trade against. SWN, and it keeps you involved. Keeps you involved in the market, right? To make sure test your theories to see if they're correct. I really like it. So SWM just kind of hanging in here, kind of a little bit of a kind of a penny name right here, but looking pretty interesting. Okay, so kind of triangulating right here. So see how those levels hold. Good find on that one. Nice. Tracy, what's going on? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at. I think do you mean AAPL? Yeah, so if you mean Apple, right, so it worked its way up here to the upper trend line today. It's still in the big trend box. It kind of pulled back off of that with, I believe, an outside day today. Low 116.13. Yeah, a little bit of an outside data here, right at the cloud, right at the 50-day moving average. So kind of a key area for Apple to hold. If you meant Apple Petroleum, you probably didn't. So that's pretty good. That chart used to come up. mRNA gap up here this morning. They had some positive news today as well. Again, a little bit of a kind of a major doji right there off of these resistance levels up here. So again, wouldn't be surprised if it kind of pulled back and filled that gap unless we get some action. It's up a little bit after hours, up about $1. So see how that goes. Good stuff. And then Docu. So Docu's been on a radar. Well, okay, well, I was looking at it. See how it holds the 618 retrace. Basically right at the 100% retrace right here. Big volume on this one today. Kind of crazy, right? So it had that big breakout candle, gave the gift horse gap up, a little bit of push, and then found some resistance right at those levels up here. right? And then kind of gave the doji reversal. And today, big gap down and a push down. Again, another kind of stay-at-home name here that got affected. But see how it holds this level, this 195 area. See if it can hold on to the 100% retrace on DOCU. Could be very interesting. If not, big volume on that one. If it pushes down, look out below. So we got that. Royal, what's going on? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while too. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, let's take a look at Etsy. Yeah, so Etsy with a big pullback right here. Oh, look at this. I've got some Fibonacci extensions on this one, which is pretty cool right here. So, again, nice to see that the 1.618 time extension ended up giving a big breakdown. We're going to talk about these this week some more. Again, try to push down below the cloud, a little bit of a lower shot right here. So see if it continued to hold on to the cloud. Apple, we just looked at, again, right at 50-day moving average. So let's see how that holds. NVTA. NVTA over the 8-day, a couple upper shadows up here, kind of grinding its way up. Kind of tricky, right? Definitely looks like it finished in its impulsive wave here. Could be an ABC down, but that could be 3, and we might see another impulsive move down off of this one too. Again, recent miss on earnings on that. And then pins. Pins with a down move. Okay, so we got we have the gap below, right? They need to defend that. That's definitely a key level right here. Otherwise, it could be a nice little retrace right here by the 786, 886 area. So again, see how this holds on pins. I'd love to see it try to work its way back up and get over the 8-day on that. So it's a good find on that one. Chris, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Yeah, so NVIDIA with an outside day today, right? So, gosh, so close to getting all-time highs. It gave a nice push out. I love the candle breakout on this one. The only reason I didn't take this long over the weekend is, one, because it's the weekend, and two, because it just made such an epic run up out of this triangle. I'd rather have seen it kind of gear up here and then move, but it just kept on pushing, right? So a big move up there, a little bit of a move at the open, couldn't get to all-time highs, and then came back in the triangle range. So look at it as a retest. Again, the middle of this triangle is going to be a big area that happens to correspond with the cloud in the 50-day. So let's see how that holds there. If we can start to bounce off of that, maybe we'll get an earnings run on NVIDIA. So good stuff there. And then Neo, yeah, of course. Let's take a look at Neo. Remember, we traded this morning live on the live stream this morning. This was just had some nice relative strength here today. We like the doji sandwich up, of course. And intraday, we just like the 15-word breakout right here. It also gave us a double inside 5 right above those levels. So again, a lot of times on these 15-word breakouts, we look for retraces, but here it just looks so strong, right? It was just go time on that. Beautiful trade on that one. Very, very nice. Again, good push up there, fresh highs on Neo. Again, eventually this thing's going to get crushed. I don't know when it is, right? This thing is, has yet to prove itself as like a real company. I mean, they say they're selling cars and all that stuff, but I mean, who really knows? So definitely keep an eye. It's definitely, in parabolic mode right now. So eventually it's going to turn into an A formation and break down. So maybe earnings will have something to do with that. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. So in the meantime, we'll just ride the waves, right? So good stuff there. I got made for a nice trade today. Vinet, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a workhorse. So here's another name, right? It's another electric vehicle name. It's back in this choppy consolidation zone right here. Had some earnings, right? So we had earnings this morning. A little bit of a move up here. Upper shadow, it's kind of tricky right here. Again, still looks pretty tricky. We might even chop around for a while on this one before some real stuff happens there. So, Michael, Eli Lilly, new drug called bamlanivimab. That's funny. I like it. Rosalind, what's going on? D-Dog, let's take a look. D-Dog, yeah. So D-Dog's actually looking pretty good right here. So we've got earnings coming up. We got earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. Tough one to get in before earnings right here, but I do like this little retrace. Right, because we're right off of the 618 here today. So let's see if we can hold it, see how it goes in earnings. Might give a little earnings run. But again, nice triangle breakout recently. And so it's kind of chop out. Let's see if we can get some direction after earnings on that one. And then RKT with earnings tomorrow morning? Or tonight? Yeah. Oh, no, tomorrow after the close as well. Right, so RKT, again, back to its IPO lows, right? Bounced off of that right here. So again, kind of working its way up. Came back, tagged the 382, bounced off of the 8-day. So let's see what it has in store for earnings. Again, it's a binary event, but again, I'd like to see it over the 50-day. And they might actually do pretty well, right? A lot of news out there, like Zillow's last earnings call. Lots of new home sales, lots of mortgages with decreased rates. So it's tough, right? Are they doing a lot of mortgages and not making a lot of money because the rates are low? We'll see. It should be an interesting report. Rochelle, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing great. Michael, yeah, JP Morgan. This is another one that we pointed out in the group today. Incredible move. Gap and go today on JP Morgan. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. This thing, I mean, I was tweeting out all day to the group and Discording out. I was like, guys, I mean, it wasn't like huge candles, but I was like, hey, guys, I think it was like off this inside 15. I was like, JP Morgan's strong, guys. Still strong. Still going. Still going, right? I mean, so a huge move on that one. I think I pointed it out a couple different times today, but again, nice move on JP Morgan today. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Upper shadow on the daily chart, so a little caution right there. DAL again, like I said yesterday on the last year, it's on the bearish radar, but so you never know with these airlines. Again, big news, big gap up. So you just got, again, this is such a news-driven industry right now. It just kind of is what it is. Liam, thanks for tuning in. Rochelle, you got QCOM. Tough one to trade, but nasty outside day today with some increased volume. So see if we can get into this gap. Right, it's going to be an important area for you to get in the gap. If it does, right, we might see especially if the market's weak, we might see a little bit of momentum push down here to get to the 8 days. So we'll see how that goes on QCOM. Yeah, Michael, yeah, my pleasure. Swap now, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazonius, again, getting pretty tricky right here. Again, really triangulating. Right, this is unlike the rest of the market. This thing did not break out of the triangle yet. Right, so really what we're seeing right here is an A, B, C, maybe is shortened D, and let's see how it goes right here. We're kind of approaching the downward trend line right here, but definitely triangulating here on Amazon, so see how that holds, and also in the trend box. So good stuff there. Good stuff. Jay, yeah, my pleasure. Kyle, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD. Whew. Tricky right here, right? So, on Friday, it tried to make a little breakout. It's sort of like NVIDIA, right? Try to break out of these geometric lines and really just couldn't confirm and push above, right? So we've got this little bit of an upper shadow here back in the range. So, again, a little bit tricky, right? We got, open gap below, back in the channel again. So let's see how that holds, right? So, big upper shadow, a little bit of caution on that, but it's got a little bit of cloud support below it too. So let's see how that goes. Beyond. Yeah, earnings. Woo! Where's this thing at now? Every time I was listening in, it was like, woo! Down 105 to 116. What a level on this. Let's take a look. So we got this here. Wow, down in this range right here. So, wow, Beyond. Look for a gap and go to the downside on Beyond tomorrow, especially if you can break below the pre-market lows. Nasty miss. They missed on earnings and revenue. They also said, some of their, the restaurants, the restaurant sector, didn't do so well, so they lost a lot of money off of that. So very, very interesting on that. Despite their growing in Asia, things like that, but yeah, their in-restaurant sales weren't doing so well at all. So good stuff, nice find. Yeah, short opportunity. Yeah, if it's short tomorrow, yeah, certainly. It looks like it could do a gap and go to the downside if it breaks below the after hours lows and that. So definitely want to keep an eye on right there. It'd be nice to see Beyond get a little bit cheaper again. If maybe we can get it down in the 50s. So it's been pretty crazy with his option spreads. So good stuff there. So, the 1 of 8, what's happening? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Etsy. Yeah, so Etsy again, it's tricky, right? So we've got, I'm going to take off the FIB, the time extensions on this one. It gave a big impulsive move up right here. It looked like it finished its initial move, right? We originally talked about this correction right here. Kind of an ABC down at this point, tried to work its way up again, but what it's looking like here is sort of an impulsive move down. Like this is like possibly 1, 2, 1, 2. When you see a 1, 2, 1, 2 like this is basically saying, all right, we're starting a wave 3 down, but this is the wave 1, 2 of wave 3, the subwave 1, 2 of wave 3, and that means it could be working on a larger move down. So again, if the market's really weak, sector's weak, things like that, Etsy could be working on a potential sharp move down. The only thing that we have here as support right now is the cloud, thin cloud right here, but it did leave a lower shadow off of that one, so do see how that holds. And we got all this a bunch of levels down here, but again, a little bit sketchy right here at the 1, 2, 1, 2, so something to keep an eye on there. So good stuff. Yeah, so Michael, yeah, DKNG earnings this week. Yep, earnings on Friday. Again, it's back. It's back in the chop zone right here. We called it. We called this thing, for weeks. We're saying this thing could probably get below the cloud. It got there. Right, gave a little bit of a rally off it right here. So maybe it's giving a little bit of a retrace, but again, just kind of keep an eye on it for going into earnings. And JMIA earnings, yeah, I know. Is this thing gonna move? Maybe. Right, we got this big cup and handle on JMIA. It did give a big retrace right here off the last couple days down to the 786. Again, it's all about how it behaves tomorrow. Again, it'd be cool if it broke out of the cup and handle, but we'll see what it has in store. Maybe they'll have good earnings. Could be interesting. In terms of the waves, it's tough, right? So it's big impulsive mover here. ABC might be working on a wave up, right? So it is possible. It is possible. So good stuff. Gio, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Triple M. The Heartbreaker. It did it again, breaking hearts, right? So big gap up and then just flush. Nasty. I saw a lot of big candles like that today, especially on some down names. Realty Income Corp. Yeah, big upper shadow there below the cloud on that one. SE. SE again, bit of a move into the back in the channel yet, but it's just struggling here, guys. It's almost starting to look like a megaphone right now, so a little bit of caution off of this, right? So we got this up move right here, right? We got this down move right here. So it may come back and retest the bottom of the megaphone, possible bounce off of the cloud on that one. So very interesting there. Good. What else? Snap. Let's take a look. Snap with a big breakout candle right here and a nasty retrace back under the 8-day moving average, right? So let's see. It was a great move the other day on Friday. Just didn't get any follow through, right? So a little bit of a retrace potential on this one. Looks like it's about a 618 right now. Again, kind of a nasty candle. Yeah, right at the 618 right there. See how it holds below the 8-day. Let's see if we can get back above it. So that would be nice. Pins. Let's take a look. Pins again. Needs to defend that gap. KO. Yeah, KO, Pepsi was a nasty day today, but KO kind of hanging in there, kind of this lone star up there, right? Big doji up in the clouds, or up in the sky, so we'll see how that goes on that one. And then V. V pretty interesting too. Again, big gap up too. Nasty shooting star candle on that one. Something to keep an eye on there. Coach, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing great. Caterpillar, again, big push up here today. Again, nasty reversal candle too. Big open gap below. Definitely something to keep an eye on. SPG. I like how it closed over the 50-day moving average. Again, some of these property names are actually pretty strong today, which is pretty cool. Again, basically what they're thinking right there is that the with Corona hooking it, cure, people are going to start being able to pay rent again, right? So we got that going on. Upper shadow here on GDRX. Again, earnings coming up on this one, and then Goldman Sachs. Again, big gap up today. Not as strong as JP Morgan today, but a nice breakout over the a nice push above the geometric line here on that one. Right, so nice move there on Goldman Sachs. Good find on those. Kyle, yeah, my pleasure. The Nash, what's going on? Fubo. Let's take a look. So Fubo TV hanging in there with the inside day triangulating, heading into earnings. So let's see how that goes on that one. Apple, of course, pull back to the 50-day moving average, right? So and the cloud, so important area for it to hold here. NLS. I guess it's been a big one recently, right? So strong run up here, kind of riding in the tails of the Piton, right? And then gap down with Piton as well, right? We also had earnings too. Nice beat on earnings, right? So it bounced off the 50-day. Let's see if we can get some follow through on that one if it breaks over today's highs. Yeah, the one of 8. Yeah, my pleasure. ABMD. Let's take a look. ABMD, big gap up there, big upper shadow off the cloud. So again, gap below. See how that holds. CDLX. Maybe on Apple, maybe a 382 on Apple. CDLX, yeah, big move up on that one. Nice find there. Yeah, so for Apple, again, we're right at the, maybe right at the 382. Looks like it from the other day. Oops. Try that again. There we go. Yeah, right at the 3. I mean, huge cluster area for Apple. I mean, it needs to hold this level, right? So let's keep an eye on that for tomorrow. Maybe Apple will give us a nice bounce. iSurge, again, big boy name. This is a tough one to trade. Big upper shadow there off the prior pivots on that one. So nice move up, right? Again, with the rest of the that kind of sector. But just kind of keep an eye on it, see if it holds. That upper shadow is a little bit scary. TNDM. Nasty down move today below the cloud. Again, volume's really not there, so let's see how it holds. See if we can get back into the cloud. EBIX, yeah, my pleasure. EBIX, yeah, I would say that would be nice too. Nice find on that one. Woo! Good candle on that one. I love that. Tracy at Bank of America. This is one we pointed out in our group today too. Nice candle there. Again, we just kept on saying all day, okay, is this thing going to break out of the 15-arm high or what? And it did, and it gave a really, really great move today on Bank of America. So again, nice candle on that one. Let's see if it holds. Maybe it'll give us an inside day in the upper shadow right here and start give us a little pause day on that one. Rosalind, good to see you. Let's take a look at GRWG. Grug. Grow Generation, again, the pot sector got kind of slammed here today. A lot of struggles with a bunch of different names. But again, nasty outside day today. The volume's not there, but again, earnings coming up on this one too, so keep an eye on that one. PLTR. Yep, PLTR, again, nice breakout over the shadow there, but big momentum move on that one. So watch the upper shadow on that one. And FTCH. Yeah, nice candle on FTCH here coming up on earnings. A little bit of earnings run potential on it. Yeah, very, very impulsive move. It's gone parabolic. So good stuff. All right, awesome, guys. Well, great chart request tonight. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to be hitting. Stay tuned this week for our shows this week. Again, lots of cool stuff on Fibonacci, guys. I'm really excited about talking about the Fib extensions this week, and then I'm going to do a special video on it probably this weekend. I'm going to try to if I can fit it in. But definitely stay tuned for a couple of these techniques. I think you guys are going to like it. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for your chart requests. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. If you're just watching this video for the first time, also hit subscribe too. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way, and I always appreciate it. Hepcat, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. We'll catch you bright and early on YouTube for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll